says the stream is live.
Perfect. Let me check on the Ridge Route page, make sure we're good to go. Awesome. Okay, we're up and rolling.
Yay.
I'll give it a moment here just to see if anybody else jumps on. I'm not seeing Samuel or anybody. Okay, cool. So we'll just do it with us three here. This is the Ridge Route Preservation Organization. This is our May board meeting. On board we have Michael Ballard, the president of the Ridge Route Preservation Organization. We have Jamie Crawford, and we have Sydney Crosman. Alrighty. So we'll start off today with a recap of the Pothole Project and where we're at. So we filled 7 potholes totaling $259.59 before tax. That was just for the material we've used. Jamie, Michael, do you guys want to say anything about where we're at with the Pothole Project?
Well,
I don't have anything particular.
I went up and took a peek at the potholes that we had done. I think last Monday when I'd gone up to do the painting on at the slide area, and it looked like a couple of the patches. It looked like the patching material had sagged some. So
Okay.
well, I think we'll need to hit those again with another layer of material.
Awesome. And that sounds pretty consistent as it cures. It kind of compacts down.
Yeah, that first one that you had done, the prototype, it doesn't look like it's sagged down at all.
Okay.
That one looks nice and level. A couple of the ones that we did are nice and level, and then there's a couple that they look like they're kind of sagged a little bit. So, yeah, if we can throw some more material in the middle of those and just kind of tamp it down some more, I think we'll be good.
Awesome. All right, Michael, do you have any input on this?
Well, one thing, they do settle, and if people drive over them, it's going to compact them yet more. We never really drove over them, just used the hand tamper. Generally, what I've seen is potholes, just on any other roadway, filled, slightly overfilled.
Okay.
Especially a slight bump. And then it's mashed down from that point.
Let me ask. Let me ask this: if I'm up there and I happen to be in the area of those potholes, do you want me to run over them as I'm going, just to kind of mash it? Would that be okay, or would that be detrimental?
No, that would be good. It says the more people drive over it, the more it compacts down. The more solid it gets.
Okay, because I was avoiding them. I wanted to check and make sure. I didn't want to drive on them and mess them up in any way. Okay.
Oh no.
That's good to know.
Yes. All right. If we're all good, I'll go ahead and show. These are the photos of some of the potholes we did fill. It was the standard. We cleared out the pothole, cleared any debris, any sand with brooms, a leaf blower, and we filled in about an inch with the material and compacted it down. Alrighty, moving on to the next one. Okay, so let's talk about what our summer project dates are going to look like for the Pothole Project. I want to try to stick to early in the morning so we can avoid the heat. June, right now I have Saturday the 8th open. Are either of you guys available to be up there that day?
Yeah, that sounds good for me. June the 8th?
Yep.
Wait, do I have something? Oh, no, June the 8th, I'm going to be out of town.
Okay. Michael, what about you?
I'm not sure. I may be available.
Okay.
I'll have to talk with Nathan.
Alrighty. Do we have any alternative dates for you guys? That's the only one I have open, but if Jamie and Michael, if you guys want to do one, you're absolutely more than welcome to.
Let me see. I'm uh, I'm good on June 22nd, 29th.
Any of those work for you, Michael?
I think both dates in July, we should be okay. I'll have to clear it with Nathan. We do have a trip coming up at the last week of June. I'm sorry, last week of July.
Okay.
So
And then,
I think we're leaving sometime the week following that.
alrighty. So for June 22nd and June 29th, are you available for either of those dates?
So June?
Yeah, for you and Jamie.
22nd, 100% no. 29th
Okay.
is maybe, but I'm really not sure.
Okay, so we'll keep that as Saturday the 8th, and I'll take on that one. All right, so then July, you said you're available the 20th, but not the 13th?
I'm not sure of either. I may be open either one. I'll have to
Okay.
clear it.
Okay, and then Jamie?
I'll be open for both of those.
Alrighty. So let's try for both of those because I have a feeling it's going to be really hot during July, and we'll just do an hour or two in the morning.
Yeah.
So let's keep both of those dates. And then August, Sunday the 18th is the only thing I have open. Michael, where are you at on during August?
um, I'll have to get back to you on August.
Okay, awesome. Jamie?
Let me ask my boss. Hey, am I available for Sunday, August
18th.
18th? The boss says thumbs up.
Okay, great. So we'll keep July, we'll keep both dates, and then August 18th. Awesome. Okay, great. So then moving on to our next thing, the Castaic landslide. When we went to check on it the last time, the land is moving again. There's more pieces of the road surface falling down. Jamie went and marked the edges with orange paint so we can see if any more has fallen. Where we're at on our repair project is the Angeles National Forest they've kind of given us a preliminary, yes, we can do something, but they'd like to see the plans first. So we're waiting on plans to be drawn up to get that repaired. And once we have a green light, then we'll go ahead and really start looking for funding, grants, sponsorships for that. Michael, you had talked a little bit while we were there about the progress of this landslide. Would you like to say anything about that?
Well, what I observed is it looks like there's no lateral movement on either side. There's no offset of the roadway, so it doesn't look like the slide is as deep seated as it initially looked because the head scarp is kind of tall. It will, left unchecked, it will take out the entire roadway. That much is certain. But I didn't see any signs of, like the area above the slide and the hill above it with any movement. So that seemed at least somewhat reassuring. The main thing is, at least in determining the depth of the slide, they'll have to be drilling then to determine where the actual slide plane exists. But I don't think it is that deep. It's more looks to me like this may be a area of at least some fill.
Yeah.
So it could also be partly that the fill had failed.
Okay.
I'm not sure how much it bench it is.
Alrighty. And then we are working with an engineer on this to get plans up for it to be repaired. He has two different options for us to repair, and it's looking at about $125,000 for the repair. Jamie, did you see anything when you were up there marking it? Any changes since the last time we were up there?
No, I hadn't. And I think what I'm gonna do is maybe go once a week, just take a peek at it, see what it's looking like.
Okay.
And I'm going to take a look primarily at two different things: the edge itself, and see if any of my beautiful paint work has fallen off,
Yeah.
and then also too those those cracks right there in the middle of that picture. Those are kind of bothering me because I don't remember them looking that wide, uh, say 3 4
Yeah.
months ago.
Yeah.
They look wider to me, and that's kind of bothering me.
Definitely. Definitely. And we had somebody at our last Clean Up the Ridge Route pothole event take a drone up there and do a 3D scan of the slide. So we'll be able to track when it changes, how much it has changed based on that 3D scan.
That'll be good. So
Yeah.
his 3D scan, that's going to be one sort of baseline for,
Yeah.
okay, here's where we are right now, and then comparing any additional movement to where we are right now, that
Yes.
type of thing. Okay.
Yeah. So we have something this is exactly as it was on this day
Okay.
versus where it is, a month or two from now.
Okay.
Alrighty. Any more comments on the landslide? Okay. Moving on to our next one, Jamie sinkholes.
Oh yeah, right.
So we have two that we found. There's one between Lievre Summit and Horseshoe Bend, and it looks to be some creature. It's the photo on the left. Some creature had burrowed underneath there, and the roadway is failing in that spot. It's collapsing down into that little hole. The one on the right is between Lievre Maintenance Camp and Tumble Inn. It's an old culvert that has, because of the rain and stuff, it's been exposed again, and the road surface has fallen into the hole where the culvert used to be. Michael, we had looked pretty closely at that one on the right. Do you have any comments you'd like to share on that?
Well, on that one, I investigated it and it looked a lot. It's not as bad as it looks. Is a quick way of saying it. Basically, it's an old. If you to the right of that pothole, you can see concrete, and at one point that was the edge of the hill, so that was the beginning of the drain.
Mm-hmm.
My assessment was that the drain looked free and clear. It wasn't failing. It was just the head of it was failing. So the basic idea for repair is to plug the existing drain.
Yeah.
It'd be nice to potentially use that drain in some manner, but long run, it'd be better to plug the drain, fill in the hole, uh, and at that point, it shouldn't be as much of a problem.
Okay. And then process-wise, material-wise, what are we looking at to plug that drain and longevity to keep it from collapsing it again?
Well, the main thing is concrete. Pouring concrete in there, well, putting some sort of a block could be something as simple as wood, because once the concrete is hardened, that wood doesn't really matter. But plugging the drain, and then one of the thought I had is because it's also undermining the pavement surrounding, is introducing some sort of grout, some sort of filler, either a concrete that's thin enough to get its way in there as well as and solidify, to basically fill in the gap between the existing pavement and the cavity.
Okay.
So mostly concrete would be the option, and of course capping it with asphalt.
Awesome. And then is this something that we would have to get prior approval from the Angeles Forest on?
Well, we definitely would have to let them know about it, but I think that we could probably move forward on this one pretty easy.
Okay, great. Let's try to make that a priority, just because it is a tire eater. And maybe one of the pothole days we divert to getting this taken care of.
Also, You know, for quite some time, I'd been thinking about it'd be nice to sweep all the loose rocks off the concrete pavement
Yeah.
for for a smoother drive through that area.
Mhm.
Um, is that culvert, Michael? That culvert would be it's real solid underneath where the concrete pavement is.
It does look pretty solid. The issue itself is erosion at the head of the drain itself. There's
Which,
actually a there's actually a concrete head wall, not
yeah.
Okay.
unlike some other many of the other drains along the ridge route,
Hmm.
Hmm.
and it's not eroding past that point. It's only eroding in the area where the water itself would normally be going out.
Okay.
Okay, good.
Okay. Awesome.
So I
Alrighty.
can
Any
put something
more?
together for that.
Okay. Yeah. Let's do that. Alrighty. Any more comments regarding the sinkholes? Nope.
A repair on the other one,
Hmm.
that since we found it, it looks like it's an animal thing. Kind of similar idea. Fill it with as much some sort of material like a grout or things of that nature. And in this case, since it's in the concrete, capping it with concrete.
Okay. Alrighty. And then same thing with that one. We are free to do that with notification to the Angeles Forest, or would we need prior approval?
We would likely need prior approval, but
Okay.
it's something that I think shouldn't be too difficult to attain.
Great. Alrighty. Oh, are we good to go?
Yes.
Alrighty, moving on to the next one. Membership. We have the new membership software live and on the website. I've been in contact with Samuel. He's going to start adding our pre-existing lifetime members into our new membership portal. Michael and I just tested and got the payment up and running today. There was a
Oh, good.
little hiccup with that. So they're able to pay through the website right now for their memberships. I have an idea of adding like a cheaper supporting membership type thing that's like $20. Are any of you opposed to that? Nope.
I think that's a good idea. That at least because
Okay.
a lot of a lot of organizations have that,
Yeah.
and I don't want to have it. We need the money for such projects, but I don't want it to seem out of reach. I mean, the 20
Exactly.
bucks isn't much, 50 bucks isn't much, but
Yeah.
you know, one of them is people are going to have a second thought about.
Yeah. Yeah. So if they can't do the 50 or the 70 that day, but they can do the 20, that still gets them on board and gets them involved without being too intimidating.
Yes.
Alrighty. Okay, so we'll add the $20 supporting membership on there.
And I have the membership binder that Michael that you'd given me. I'll get that to Samuel when I see him on June 3rd.
Perfect.
Good.
All
Because I
right.
don't know, I have no idea if what the status is of any of those people. So it's going to be that's going to be a process, but I want to make sure that you pay a lifetime membership. Hey, you're still in the system
Right.
somehow.
Good. Good. Okay. Moving on to the next one here. Our recent events recap. So just recently we had a group of Boy Scouts up to do a bike ride and camp up at Reservoir Summit. We had the scout leaders come up about a week or two before, and we drove them through the road. We talked about some of the work that had to be done up there. When the scouts came up, they rode their bicycles. It was I don't remember the exact terminology, but they had to do bike 50 miles achievement. They had to do a camp achievement and a community service type achievement, a trails one. So they worked up at Swedes Cut. They cleared a lot of the debris that was in the way, loaded in the truck. They got a little idea of what it's like when they were building the road. They're out there with picks and shovels moving the dirt. Then from there, they rode their bicycles all the way up to Reservoir Summit, camped there, rode their bikes back down. On the way back down, we gave them a little tour of the road and explained all the historic locations, and they got to take photos of that. So I think they were real happy with that. The leaders contacted me saying that they would like to do it again one day. So I think that would be real exciting, real neat. Alrighty. Okay, Jamie, you ready?
I'm ready, and I made notes so I wouldn't forget anything, but I'll probably
Okay.
forget stuff. Okay, so April 1st, Sydney and I met Samuel up in Bakersfield at the Ford Model A Club, and we gave a presentation up there. I did a slideshow. It was supposed to be 20 minutes and ended up being about 40 minutes. But there was so much to cover. I just kind of I gave an overview of the RRPO and our mission, a brief history of the Ridge Route, and the purpose of the road and tying the state together. Um, Talked about the road as an artifact itself, along with some of the historic features embedded in the road, tire tracks, uh, evidence of people working up there 110 years ago. Um, and then I did an overview of some of the RRPO projects. So clearing the rocks, the Boy Scout project, uh, the need to do to redo the monuments. Talked about the Pothole Project at that point it was going to be in the future, the Pothole Project, and showed some examples of damaged pavement and things that were going to need to be worked on. I showed some of our sandbagging work and the slide area in the south, and talked about that just a little bit. Um, so, and I'm currently right now I'm revising the slideshow and adding to it. I'm going to be doing a similar slideshow up at the Ridge Route Communities Museum up in Fraser Park
Oh, good.
next month, and then as I'm revising it, reworking it, I'm updating photographs in there of work that we're doing, and I will have this thing kind of canned and available to take it on the road to various historical groups or to museums. So we'll figure that out as we go along.
Good. Good. Yeah, and Jamie is available for special events, birthday parties, car shows,
Yes.
whatever we may need.
Bar mitzvahs.
Bar mitzvahs, yeah. Awesome. And then you had quite a good reaction there with the Model A Club too.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, and it kind of surprised me. I was nervous as heck, and I didn't feel like I did a very good job. And uh, Erica, my wife, she was sitting in the back,
Yeah.
and she heard lots of comments from people about that they learned a lot about what we're doing,
Good.
and seemed like they were really interested in what we're doing. So
Good.
that's good to know.
Awesome. Alrighty. Anything else you need to say about that, or are we ready to move on?
I'm good.
Okay. All right. So looking at future events involving the Ridge Root Preservation Organization, Jamie and I had kind of lightly discussed doing a breakfast at the reservoir for the Ford Model A Club of Bakersfield. We're talking about inviting them up there to drive from the 138 all the way up to Reservoir Summit and bring bagels and donuts and all kinds of fun stuff and enjoy the breakfast up there before it gets too hot.
Yes.
And then have them all drive back, and we'll do a little historical talk. Jamie, do you have any ideas for what you'd like to do on that?
I can't think of anything to add to what you've said
Okay, cool.
so far on
Michael,
that.
awesome. Michael, do you have any input on doing something of that sort?
Well, I'm definitely for it. I know I have a whole host of postcards and whatnot that I could definitely bring on such an event. Some of which
Awesome.
probably have a Model A or so in them.
Okay, cool. And then, do we have a rough idea, Jamie, of when we would like to do this?
I I have no idea yet.
Okay.
I'll talk to when I'm up there at the club meeting in a
That's
couple of weeks. I'll mention it to Samuel and then talk it over with a couple of people and see what they're thinking.
Okay.
What the logistics would be for them.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it would be best to have them finished well before noon.
Yes, to get them down the hill before it's too hot.
Yeah. the the main Achilles heel with them in the summertime is going to be overheating.
Yeah. Yeah.
But they're all they know how to deal with that and stuff. But
Good.
talk it over with them and see what would work best for them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Alrighty, so then you'll reach out to them during their next meeting and get that figured out. All right. And then another thing that I've been wanting to do, and we have a lot of cyclists that frequent the road, and a lot of them that are interested in the history, or that just don't quite know what it is, but they like being up there. So I'd like to do a cyclist tour of the Old Ridge Route. We kind of came to the conclusion that we can do that, just not as a formal event. So I was thinking we do little pop-ups, especially over the summer when we don't know how hot it will or won't be. Maybe just put out a thing saying this weekend it's supposed to be nice. Let's go. Does that sound good to you guys?
I say yes.
Okay.
Having seen the bicycles that have gone over the road,
Yeah.
road bikes shouldn't be a problem. The ones with the
Good.
skinny tires, well, that would be their decision anyway. But
Okay.
I've seen mostly cross bikes up there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And generally, they would, the groups, they start earlier.
Mhm.
I'd say usually 8 o'clock, maybe
Okay.
7, depending on how hot it's going to be. If it's like a more formal group, when I've gone on rides, if it's going to be hot, well, sometimes I just don't. But I will start earlier.
Okay.
And try to finish, before noon.
Okay.
As a rider, Michael, would you think it would be good to do the whole road or maybe just up to some sort of a halfway point?
I would say depending optimally the whole road, at least as far as Reservoir.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a
I
nice.
know.
It's a grade going up, and once you pass Reservoir, then you're. I mean, yes, there's a little up and down before then, but after Reservoir, there's a lot more grades, so it tends to be more of an issue.
Okay.
And then at that point, where do you stop?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. I know that there is a loop that a lot of them do where they go up the Ridge Route and then they come down Lake Hughes. So, maybe we'll try to figure out which groups do that often and reach out to them. Because, I mean, there's like the hardcore cyclists that something like that is easy for. And then, there's like the Boy Scouts where they did it in 2 pieces
Yeah.
to make it a little easier for them.
Well, with that in mind, it could also be, when such a thing arises, make that a thing. And this is, one is for, more adventurous ones, and one is for I'm just going out to have a short ride.
Okay. Great. Oh, there's somebody on here saying that they're very interested in riding on the Ridge route. Alrighty. We'll work a little extra hard to make that happen. Perfect.
And
do
one
you
other
guys
thing,
have any more? Yes.
I was going to say, it's one thing is that the despite the ridge route being closed to autos, it is a road in the national forest and as such open to all non-motorized travel.
Yeah. Do you know, I had somebody asking me the other day if e-bikes count as motorized or not. Do you know on that?
I think the Forest Service was going through an issue like that, but only on trails.
Okay.
And it was mostly like, can you bicycle in, I think it was wilderness areas, but I think in wilderness areas you're not allowed to. It was mostly on the trails. I would say it's a non-issue on a road like the Ridge Route. E-bike, go for it. But you put an engine on there, no.
Yeah, so like not like a dirt bike, but
yeah, no motorized is mostly meant in this case for engines.
Okay. And just for anybody out there who might be listening, it's an Angeles Forest rule that motorized vehicles are not supposed to be on the Ridge route. Sometimes you might find a gate open, but you can still get ticketed or fined if you are found driving on the old Ridge route right now. We're working towards getting the road open, but there's a couple obstacles in the way, like that landslide in Castaic that's making it unsafe for regular vehicle travel.
And additionally, if you do see a gate open, it does not necessarily mean that the next gate will be open, and it doesn't mean that the gate behind you will be open. So it's kind of one of those things where just don't.
Alrighty. Okay, so moving on. Michael, you had talked last time we were working up there. You had talked about how we have approval to put little road signs up, just informational signs. Right now, from what I remember from our conversation, you were talking about Sandburg's, Temple Highway, and the Ridge Route, and possibly Tumble-In. Does that sound accurate?
Yes.
Okay.
And basically, those are kind of the entry points for the road.
Yeah. And right now, I just have this, from what I remember, our conversation was for the text on the signs being something along the lines of the historic 1915 Old Ridge Route, maintained by the Ridge Route Preservation Organization, and then the website on there. Does that sound accurate?
Sounds pretty close. One thing I'm not sure about putting maintained. I mean, we do maintenance on the road, but we're not the overarching agency for the maintenance. So if there's a maintenance issue, they shouldn't call us, like,
Okay.
in general.
What would you put in place of that? What's the word?
There's another word that would be better. I mean, because we do maintenance, but it's mostly, event-based, I guess. And every once in a while, somebody's up there with a broom.
Okay.
Supported by?
Yeah. Either supported or something along those lines. I'd have to think about it.
Okay. Awesome. Let me know if you think of it a little bit later on. And then, did you have a sign vendor that could make these for us?
I do not.
Okay.
I do know that, like, even albeit they will be, I don't know how long they'll last, but you can get basic signs for, like $20-$30. But they're the plastic, the kind of the harder plastic ones, not unlike the signs you see at Home Depot for open house or, that plastic.
I feel like on this one we'd want that reflective metal that's kind of typical of road signs.
Yes, and actually with that, we may be able to get one. I'll take a look because I think
Okay.
there actually are places to get metal signs that are custom.
Okay, so let's take a look at where those would come from and then the approximate cost. We can go from there. Any more comments regarding the road signs? Nope. Okay, moving on. So the road monument, we had priced out a quote for how much it would cost to get those remade with a UV resistant material, a type of plastic that's reinforced. Um, my local printer, who we reached out to, quoted us at $4,200 to print all 9 signs that run from Castaic to Sandburg. It's a little pricey, but they're made to last. We had started talking about it being an Eagle Scout project. I think that might be a little bit later on for these kids, but the idea is going to put it on hold right now due to the landslide. If there's anybody who is willing to, fund or help with this project, we're more than willing to take the help. Jamie, Michael, do you have any comments on this?
Well, in terms of funding, one thing is I don't know if it's set up, if something like that is set up yet, but
Okay.
Should be a way to like keep track of different funds, even if they're all going to the same pot.
Okay.
Like this, like look, we received a check for an amount for the Pothole Project, and it was like, this is going to the Pothole Project. Okay, that's where it'll be spent.
Do we have not GoFundMe, but a GoFundMe-esque thing that we can set up that divides it for each project?
Not the only thing we have presently is we have our standard bank account.
Okay.
And then we have a PayPal account which we use for donations. There may be a way to set up different versions of it, but
Okay.
I haven't looked into that.
Okay, let me do a little research and I'll see the different fundraising websites. Because I want to say GoFundMe was only if you reach the total amount. It wasn't if you put $10,000 and you get $9,000. Let me do some research on that.
And with that in mind, different fundraising, sites like that do tend to, take a bite out of that amount. PayPal has its own, but as we're a 501c3, they do take less. You just have to show documents that you are.
Alrighty. Yeah, because I would like to have that on the website as well so people can see progress-wise where we're at, how much more we need for any given thing. Awesome. Alrighty. Do you have anything else you would like to discuss coming up on this?
I can't really think of anything just, at this time. The main thing is, just keep pressing forward with trying to get various approvals from the Forest Service. That keeping them apprised of what we're doing.
Yeah,
helps a lot.
Okay.
They don't ask for something like a monthly report or anything like that. They do ask for how many volunteers that we had, as well as volunteer hours, things of that nature.
Okay.
But because of the nature of our group, we're not just volunteer group. We're actually doing something with this roadway.
Yeah.
I would like to show them because they have talked about the possibility of giving us a lot more latitude.
Okay.
And changing our agreement with the Forest Service beyond just the volunteer service agreement.
Okay. And then when you're talking about that, giving us more latitude, what does that in the end product? What does that entail? What does that mean?
Well, in the long run, it means that we can push forward with a lot more projects on our
Okay.
own without having to ask them every time.
Okay.
That's the easiest way of explaining it.
Oh, that's good.
Awesome. And then moving towards the idea of getting this road reopened seasonally, what do we need to do to get it reopened?
Well, the main thing is mitigation of the landslide at the south end. That is
Okay.
that prevents regular vehicles going over the roadway. One of the other issues that I've run into is what sort of maintenance agreements, or how does maintenance proceed for the road in terms of just a basic clearing of the roadway, taking
Yes.
Yeah.
across the road, removing large rocks to allow automobiles to traverse the road.
Okay.
So there's a few steps.
Yes.
Yeah. Alrighty. And we're already working towards that landslide right now and getting that repaired. We've got somebody involved who has the equipment and the knowledge and the experience who owns a company in landslide repair. So that's rolling. That's in motion. Awesome.
Yes, that is a big thing right there.
Yeah. Yeah. And then can I just have you elaborate on what seasonally open means?
Now, seasonally open would be, I think they had a specific dates, which is forest wide, but
Okay.
it would generally be between, I believe it was April through October.
Mhm.
Okay. Okay, so for anybody that's joining us, that's what we're proposing with the Ridge Route, having it open seasonally during those dates. It's currently closed to all motorized vehicles. So we would be working on getting it open to motorized vehicles and travel during those dates, not as an alternate to the freeway, but just as a scenic drive for anybody who'd like to enjoy it.
Yeah, definitely not an alternate to the 5.
No, no. No more semis stuck up there.
No.
Yes.
Alrighty. We've covered all of the things I have on my current list. If there's anything else you guys would like to add, if not, we'll go ahead and end our meeting here soon.
I'm good.
Alrighty.
I'm good.
Awesome. Thank you guys for being on today, and anybody who is watching live, thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.